Hi friends, welcome back to our Yoga for Flexibility series. I'm Kim, and today we are going to be working on our hips and hamstrings. So both areas, very common places for tightness. So we will be doing some nice hip openers, relieving some tension there, along with some great hamstring stretches. So let's go ahead and get started, and I will meet y'all on the mat. Hello friends, and welcome back to Yoga for Flexibility. We are starting on all fours today, but I want to make sure y'all have either a yoga strap or even a kitchen towel will do. We're going to use that towards the end of practice. So if you need to pause the video, you can go do that now. We're going to set it off to the side. And then to get started, let's go ahead and meet in a tabletop position. Our hands are going to come right under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and just starting with some simple cat-cows here. Inhales dropping down through the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, start to get some movement in your hips, and the exhale rounding through the back, chin to chest, tailbone tucks. Take a few more rounds of breath, moving at the pace of your own breath. Inhales guiding the chest upward as the belly drops. Exhales doming through the back. So we really just want to start today by inviting that mobility to both hips and spine before we start to find that movement. So just waking things up here. We'll take one more round. Good. Meeting in your neutral spine. So back is nice and flat here. Tuck your toes under and lift the hips right up to a downward facing dog. So hips go straight up and backwards as the ears drop between the biceps, heels soften to the mat. Let's go ahead and pedal the feet here as we start to stretch our calves and our hamstrings. This is a nice full body opener on the back side of the body. So after you've pedaled your feet a few rounds, start to find your stillness. Spreading fingertips nice and wide, grip the mat with each finger pad as the hips lift upward, maybe bending through both knees to bring a little more opening to the lower back, lengthening through the spine. And then on your exhale, start to straighten through the legs, getting a nice stretch all the way down the backs of the legs. Take a full breath in. Imagine the breath moving from crown of the head all the way down the spine to the tailbone, lift high. And the exhale, let the backs of the legs soften. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, shifting forward, knees drop wide, big toes together as the hips come back. Let's find a child's pose. Quick little reset here for the lower back. Full breath in. Full breath out. Last round of breath. Good. Inhale, shifting forward, back to all fours. The knees will hug back in, toes tucking under. Find one more down dog. We've got a full breath in. Full breath out. Drop the chest towards the thighs. And on the inhale, look up to your hands and take 10 baby steps to the top of your space. We're going to meet in a forward fold where I will invite you to have a gentle bend in the knees and bringing hands to your shins. Find a halfway lift. Inhale's going to lengthen the spine, almost like you're peering over a ledge here. Really long spine. Pull the shoulders back. Notice this opening in the front of the hips. Big breath in. Exhale, gentle bend in the knees forward. Fold. Another nice opening stretch for your hamstrings. Go ahead and shake the head. Yes. Shake your head no. And just start to let the body soften. If you want to find a little more depth in this pose, I'll invite you to bring some weight to the toes. So slightly hinging forward. Be nice and gentle here. You got a lot of weight in your head pulling you down. But keep the hips lifted. Maybe you start to straighten through the legs. But I really enjoy a gentle bend in the knees here. Go ahead. Take one more halfway lift. Breathe all the way in. Lengthen the spine. Open the front of the hips slightly. exhale, forward fold. You're going to step your left foot back. The right knee stays bent here as you drop your back knee. Now maybe scooting the toes forward. We want ankle and knee stacked here. Untuck your back toes and bring the gaze forward. You'll feel a nice opening in the front of the left hip. Good. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Starting to walk hands upwards to your knees. Lift and straighten through the arm. You've got the option to stay right here or let the exhale sink your hips forward. It's going to bring a deeper opening into your front left hip crease here. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. So using our breath to help us open up today, I want you to visualize the inhales going wherever the body feels the stretch. So oxygen maybe coming to that front left hip, nourishing that front left muscle. And then on the exhale, I want you to soften that same area of the body and let yourself sink. Nice and gentle. One breath in. One breath out. Good. Framing your front foot. So hinging forward, we're going to heel toe our front foot to the right side of the mat for lizard's pose. So both hands are inside of our front foot and the right toes have a slight angle to the top right corner of the mat. So lizard's pose, bringing a deeper stretch to the front left hip flexor. Staying right here for one more breath in. And one breath out at a time. We've got some options here. You can roll to the pinky edge of your front foot, letting the knee drop open. You might invite some little rocks left and right. Again, just doing what feels good for you here. If anything starts to hurt or bring too much discomfort, come on back to that right foot planted to the ground. Or again, if you want to take things a little deeper, you've got the option to drop down to your forearms. This is a pretty deep pose. If you've got blocks here, this is a great place to bring blocks underneath the hands. It might lift the ground a little bit closer, bringing that space to the front right hip. Good. So now I want you to lift up through your back toes and your back knee. So we're in more of an active stretch here. Kick back through that heel. Let's find some rocks back and forth. Good. Frame your front foot. So the right foot, heel toes back through the center. Really stabilize yourself here. And then we're going to find a three-legged down dog. The right leg is going to come all the way up. Kick your right heel up. Flex your toes downward. Good. And then bend through the right knee. Stack the hips open. Let's give some space to that right hip. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. And inhale, squares your hips back to the mat, kicking the right heel right back up to the sky, three-legged. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Good. Crossing your right shin down to the mat. Let the left toe slide back for half pigeon. Back toes untuck. Putting a little weight into your front right shin. Start to walk the hands towards the body. Lift up in the chest and activate that back right hip. Good. Full breath in. Exhale, start to melt everything forward, melting down, maybe to the forearms. Elbows could go wide as you rest forehead to the back of the hands. And coming back to your breath here, when you breathe in, can you sense an opening in the back right hip? On your exhale, softening through your right shin, relaxing ankles and feet. Surrendering to the pose. Just simply being with breath all the way down to the belly. Open mouth, exhale. Let go of any tension or resistance you might be hanging on to sink into your pose. Last 2 breaths here, all the way in. all the way out. Good. Starting to lift up through the forehead if we're down to the mat. Bring the hands back under the shoulders as you lift up through the chest. Untuck your back toes, lifting your knee once more. Inhale to your three-legged down dog. Right foot comes all the way down. Look up to your hands, bend the knees, stepping forward to your forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Notice the difference between left and right. Maybe one leg feels a little lighter than the other, or even the backs of the hips. One might feel more open. Let's go ahead and even that out. This time, stepping your right foot all the way back. Bend through your left knee. Scoot those toes forward, bending to drop your back knee. Ankle and knee, again, are stacked. Inhale brings the gaze forward. Start to feel that right hip open. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Option here, starting to lift up further. Hands can come to your knee as you lift up through the chest. If this is ever too much, hinge back, bending that back knee just slightly. Or if you want to go deeper, the exhale lets you sink the hips further. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. Framing your front foot. Heel toe your left foot wide. Both hands inside of your left foot. We are in our lizard's pose. Again, if you have blocks here, this is a great place to bring them under the hands. Keeping the back of the neck nice and straight, so we don't want to let the head hang too heavy here. We want to keep it almost like you were in a plank pose, right? So nice and long through the back of the neck. And we've got those same options. Maybe dropping open on that left edge of your front foot. You can invite simple rocks, left and right. Or even just staying in your stillness, that option to deepen the front right hip, maybe dropping down to the forearms. Next, nice and long. Breath is going wherever the body needs it on that inhale. And the exhale, softening those same muscles. Let go of that resistance. We've got one more breath in wherever you're at. One more breath out. Good. Meeting back on your hands. Hands are under shoulders. Lift up through your back knee. So untucking the toes, knee lifts up. You start to heel toe your left foot back through center. Bringing the hips nice and square. Big inhale, left leg reaches all the way up. Three-legged down dog. Bend through your left knee and stack your hips open, giving some love to that front left hip. Good. Inhale, squares the hips, kicking left heel high. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Cross your shin through the center of the mat. As the back knee drops, toes untucking. Slide your toes back and bring the gaze forward. Good. Now, if you catch yourself dropping on this left hip, I want you to check in here. This is where this next transition really becomes beneficial. So roll back over onto your shin. That weight in your front shin is going to activate this glute to lift you. So lift up on the fingertips, walk the hands towards the body. You'll feel a little back bend here. Gaze is forward, full breath in. Exhale starts to melt you forward. Maintain the balance on your shin so that you can crawl forward. You can keep hands in front of you or even elbows wide as you just melt yourself a little bit further over the leg. Maybe the forehead finds the hands. We've got a few rounds of breath here. Noticing any sensation that the inhale brings to the body. Maybe that back left hip. So you know exactly which part of your body to ask to soften.
Full breath in. Full breath out. Stay with your breath. Finding anything maybe that you could let go of right now. Last full breath in. Open mouth, sigh away anything you don't need to hang on to. Good. We slowly start to come back to the hands if we've lowered down. Walking hands under the shoulders. That back toe untucks to lift up through the knee. Hug your left shin in. Reach the left leg all the way up. Feel that left hip get some space. And on the exhale, downward facing dog, left toes drop to the mat to meet the right. Let's give the feet a little pedal, left and right here. Good. On the inhale, shifting forward, high plank to drop the knees back down and walk the hands towards your body. Finding that kneeling position, we are going to grab that towel or yoga strap that I referenced at the beginning of the video. As we make our way onto our backs, just slide the legs off to the side. Now, if we are using a towel, I'm going to recommend diagonal instead of horizontal. It just gives a little extra length to what you're using. So we're just going to keep that on the belly. We're going to use it here in just a moment. So come on down to your backs, nice and slow. You can hug the knees to the chest when you get there. If you've got any ponytails or clips going on, you take that out just so the back of the head is flat to the ground. Hug the knees towards the chest. Take some little rocks left and right. Some little circles here. Let go of any tension that might have built up in the lower back. Just a simple little reset. Good. And then dropping both soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to hug the right knee in. Flex the toes so they're pointed up to the ceiling. And then taking your strap or towel, we're going to place that underneath the foot. And then on the inhale, kicking the foot up to the ceiling. So point the toes towards your body. Now, whether you have strap or towel, I want you to walk your hands as far up as you can so that you have two straight arms. Doesn't matter how far up you go where it's comfortable. And then start to slide that left heel long. Left toes are pointed up. Take adjustment so that the back of the hips are flat. And take a big breath in. You're going to feel the back of that leg start to lengthen. Keep your heel lifted. Toes pointing towards the face. Good. Big breath in. Feel the opening in the back of the hamstrings. And on the exhale, elbows start to bend. You're pulling the leg a little bit closer. I want you to work to keep your leg straight here, okay? Full breath in. Softening breath out. Good. We've got 3 more breaths like this, all the way in. Control the exhale, soften your hamstring, maybe even let the back of the hip relax. You might be getting a little shakes here. We don't want any pain, but we're moving through this stretch to build length in the back of the hamstring. Full breath in. Full breath out. Last one, you got this. Maybe close the eyes down. Relax the space between your brow and just be with your breath. Good. Start to soften your grip on your strap or your towel, letting the right leg float further away. Bend the right knee. Releasing the strap or towel, send your right leg long to meet the left and just simply notice. You might have a different length in your legs, more opening in the front of your right hip. We're going to even it out, I promise. But just how that movement, pushing and breathing through this stretch can really lengthen and bring that flexibility that we're aiming to achieve into the body. Good. Let's take our opposite side. So bend the right knee first. Right, full of the foot to the ground, and then the left knee hugs in. We're going to hug left knee towards the body, placing strap or towel under the sole of the foot. Kick all the way up. You're going to find your towel or strap here and walk the hands all the way up so that you have 2 straight arms. Good. Slide the right heel to the edge of your mat. Point the right toes up towards the sky. So that soft toe takes out the activation. When we're active with pointing the toe upward, it's going to bring a little bit more stability to the body. So you can stay right here, maybe just stay in your first few breaths, noticing how the inhale is bringing that length to your hamstring. And on the exhale, you have that option again to bend the elbows, adding a little more length and depth to the stretch. Staying connected with the breath. The most important part to achieving flexibility is letting the breath help guide you. The inhales are sending oxygen to the muscles that are stretching, giving them that nourishment, and showing you exactly what part of the body I want you to tell the mind to relax the hamstring. Point the toe towards your face. Good. All the way to the heels where we're stretching. Full breaths in. Controlled breaths out as you soften. Maybe you can even relax the back of that left hip. One more breath in. One more breath out. Good. Soften your grip on your towel or strap, bending the left knee, strap or towel to the hips. As your left foot goes long, take a little adjustment to the back of your hips. And just notice, bring your hands on top of those hip bones. Big breath in, fill the belly. Empty out, open mouth, exhale. Good. Start to bend both knees at the same time. And then drop your knees wide, bringing the toes together. We've got a supine butterfly pose, just allowing the front of the hips to open here. We've had a lot of flexion in the hips, so with the hips coming bent in. So just giving the inner thighs that chance to open up, bringing balance to the legs that we've brought lots of stretching to. Hands can be on belly, opposite hand on heart. Close the eyes down. And just notice the rise and fall of your breath in your belly. Maybe you even start to notice the heartbeat pulsing against the hand. One more breath in. One more breath out. Okay, circling hands outside of the thighs. Use the fingertips to help pull the knees up through center as you inhale. Legs lift up, in, knees are bent, soles of the feet flat to the mat. Hug the knees back towards the chest. Again, just taking a little moment here to let any extra tension that might have accumulated in the back of the hips start to fall away. You can invite circles, taking it both directions. And then just pausing. Let's find a 90-degree angle with the legs. So the shins are lifting up. The knee and hips are stacked. Arms come out to a T. Gaze is up to the ceiling. Big breath in. Fill all the way up to the belly. Exhale, twist your knees to the right for a supine twist. Good. Full breath in. Exhale, softening through your ankles, knees, and hips, not worrying about where the knees land, just letting them land wherever they fall. Letting go of any leftover tension that might have accumulated in the spine. Full breath all the way into the belly. Option for full spinal rotation on the exhale. Maybe the gaze goes over to the left fingertips. Big breath in, fill your belly. Let it go. Relax the left shoulder. Inhale, bringing gaze up through center as knees follow through. Find that 90-degree angle. Take any adjustments to the backs of your hips. Full breath in. Exhale, left side for your twist. Filling all the way up through your belly when you land. Exhale, relaxing again the ankles, knees, hips, all the way up to that right shoulder to just let the body twist. One more breath in. One more breath out. Good. Allowing your next exhale to offer the gaze over to the right fingertips for that full spinal rotation. And when you're ready, letting the inhale bring gaze and knees upward through center. Hands to knees, knees to chest. Squeeze everything in. Tuck your chin inward. Full breath in. Exhale, releasing to find a Savasana. Arms and legs out wide. Letting every piece of your practice start to soak in. All of the movement with our stretches, bringing that flexibility into the body. Staying connected with deep breaths in and slow breaths out. Letting the body just fall into place after all of the opening that you've brought, the muscles, connective tissue. Start to bring small movements to your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Big inhale to stretch fingers and toes long, reaching the arms up over the head. Full body stretch. Maybe you wiggle the hips left and right, kicking one heel a little further down than the other. And then hugging everything back through center. Curl the tailbone upward and relax the back of the hips to your mat. Rolling over through your right side. Right arm underneath the head. Pushing all the way up to a seated position to end your practice. Working to keep the eyes closed when you land. Bringing the hands to your heart. Lifting hands up to your third eye center. Take one breath in. Exhale to bow as we say Namaste.